And we're back here. Main event. Looky who came in. The man, the legend, local legend. I don't know if he's a myth. He's real. I'm touching him.
Yeah.
He's real. Bruce Cooper joins us on Tuesdays as well. Bruce, first of all, how you doing today?
Doing great, guys. I'm out of the business, if you will. But, I still managed to find some sources to give me some news.
Oh.
And you know what I learned? I learned that in the Diamondbacks loan deal yesterday, that Lars Nootbaar was actually Plan B player from the Cardinals. The player they coveted the most from the Cardinals, first baseman Alec Burleson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason why that deal did not come off is because the Cardinals wanted a current major leaguer as part of the package coming back to them. And I'm like, you can't give them Tyler Locklear?
No, from what I heard, everybody wanted Waldschmidt.
No. He wouldn't let me know. He wouldn't let me know who it is. Okay. But the impression that I got, just because a slip of the tongue, his versatility was too much. So I was thinking Tim Tawa. And I don't know that, but Tim, for the Cardinals, Tim Tawa and whatever else.
Yeah, you get more
for
from
Alec
Tim.
Burleson. Yeah. And one thing I didn't do, I thought about it. I only thought about this coming in. It didn't hit me to ask it because I'm like, does Burleson? Is he a free agent after this year? He's still under control.
I think he's under control through 27. Don't quote me on this because I read a lot about players yesterday. I want to say he's good through 27, but don't quote me on that.
But I don't blame the Diamondbacks. If Tim Tawa was part of the package that the Cardinals wanted to unload Burleson, even though I watched later that night, Burleson hit 3
Did you see what he did yesterday?
Hit 3 home runs against the Cubs.
I'm watching that game yesterday afternoon, and I'm just like sick to my stomach. I'm like, this guy could have been a Diamondback guy.
Yeah, but
3 home runs, upper deck home runs yesterday on top of it.
Is Burleson a free agent or is he under control?
I'm looking it up right now. Okay. So give me a second here.
All right, because that would make a difference. I still wouldn't want to give up Tim Tawa.
I heard that everybody. What I was told was everybody was asking for young major league talent, not minor league talent, for it, and they didn't want to give any. But I heard pretty much everybody, is what I was told, wanted Waldschmidt, and that he was there was an absolute. You cannot have this kid, and deals fell apart because they said no to Waldschmidt, and they didn't want anybody else.
Well, I'm telling you,
that's what I was told for a majority of them.
And you're probably right, but as it relates to the Cardinals, I do know that. Waldschmidt doesn't offer the versatility.
I don't have the dares here, but he does have long-term club control still, which is probably why they wanted a major league type player. Because the longer the club has to control it, the more you want in return.
Well, we do know that Tyler Locklear was not what the Cardinals wanted back in return.
Right? Yeah, that's true there. But that's what I heard. I mean, it basically,
And look, honestly. And I heard Mike Hazen. I didn't hear him. I read.
I have a clip from him
where he was a little upset that he didn't pull off more.
Yeah.
And I think what I was reading that he didn't want to wind up in the same position that he did a couple years ago when the Diamondbacks were forced to go with a bullpen arm. And I don't think that'll be the case this year, even though they didn't get a pitcher. I mean, when you have Soroka.
Yeah,
starting a minor league assignment, I believe today even.
It's coming up. I can't remember what day.
It's either today or this week, along with Lawler.
Well, J Mart
and J Mart. I'm like, okay,
Martinez.
You're right. Justin.
I feel like I got to say Martinez because people might be going, J Mart. Who are you two talking about? Martinez.
Very good.
Justin Martinez.
Yeah, and so those guys are close to coming back, and I'm telling you, there's not a reliever. Outside of maybe Miller, who I found out was available through you, that I would like over J Mart.
I heard the ask for Miller was through the roof to where everybody was like, we're not giving up our whole team for this kid, even though long-term control and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame the Padres.
But he was out there. He was shopped around. People called about him, and they talked about it.
Yeah, and so now I'm looking at, okay, those so I'm just a starting pitcher short now. Because Soroka comes back. And I already know that I'm sending one of the youngsters down, either Brad or Drake. And so now I didn't expect to hear this news that the Diamondbacks moved Gallen to the 60-day
Yeah,
DL.
you told me we'd see Gallen back up here again.
Yeah,
I told you there's no chance in hell he's coming back up. Not going to see him again, man. You don't put a guy like 60-day IL, which means he's done. I mean, he technically is available for the playoffs, but you're not bringing him back for the playoffs.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure where Ryan Nelson is, but I do know that I still keep hearing that Burns still has that target date for
end of September. No, Torrey said
end of August.
Torrey said yesterday is looking towards. He said beginning of September, so people kind of equated that to possibly at the end of August. You could see him possibly come back at that point. Torrey said that yesterday.
Yeah,
about Burns. So you're still going to get Burns back.
So here's the deal. So I don't think the Diamondbacks would find themselves in that similar situation in 23 as they would, going forward here. So I'm not upset that they didn't get an arm, but I really would have liked a Alec Burleson. I wish that deal could have come through.
It makes it look even worse, like I said, with what he did last night. I mean, folks, if you didn't see it, he was half swinging, launching balls into the second deck last night in his debut. Last night as well. Well, here's my question for you in terms of, and we'll play the Hazen clip in just a second. You were talking about and stuff like that out there. But every big bat that went, you wanted the guy from the Giants, Arise and everything. You wanted him, and he went for fairly cheap to another team. And what we found out afterwards, Hazen was talking, and everybody wanted major league talent. The Diamondbacks. What I didn't know, the Diamondbacks have no good talent in their minor league system.
Oh, that's not true.
They had two guys in the top 100 going into the trade deadline yesterday.
I don't give a rat's behind.
Nobody wanted their talent.
I don't give a rat's behind about what that the ESPN think their top 100
top
is.
100.
Look, I have seen Jose Fernandez play this year. Extremely impressed with him.
Absolutely.
Love his potential going forward. I've seen both Tommy Troy and Ryan Wallsmith play. I'm like, wow.
But they're major leaguers now. Well, they might go back down, but they're major leaguers. You consider them major league talent, don't you?
Well,
I wouldn't consider them a minor league prospect now. I'm considering them part of the upper league team, major league team.
I didn't know you were considering that.
Waldschmidt's not?
I was considering them the minor leagues because that's where they started the season at.
No, I think they see their future.
And they only got elevated because of injury. And then I see Jordan Lawler's coming back soon. So what are the Diamondbacks going to do there? Now I already know that when J Mart comes back, one of the roster moves you make is you DFA Seawald.
Seawald, yeah.
And here's the deal.
I said he would make that move yesterday.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Yeah. I'm not going to go back on my praises of Seawald earlier because I mean the dude was rock solid. 23 saves and 24 opportunities. And so I sat on this very seat on this very program, and I was praising him and saying that I was wrong. Well, Seawald has really morphed into the guy that I feared, but the Diamondbacks wouldn't even be in this position they are right now without Seawald.
Same thing in 23. He had a integral part of this team making the World Series run. As bad as it got, but he was an integral part of them being as good as they were.
After they made him, acquired him at the trade deadline, I mean, he was just unbelievable. But when you got to the postseason, I mean, it's like, dang, dude. So look, it's easy. I mean, this guy couldn't even get an out. I mean, he blew. I mean, look.
Did you see that game on Saturday?
Yeah.
The 10-2 game?
Dude.
That ended up being 10-7?
Dude. And then how about the one where they're playing the Nationals and it's 6-0 after Brandon Pfaadt pitches 7 shutout innings, 6-0, hands it over in the 8th to Ryan Thompson. And Thompson gives up 3 runs, so it's 6-3. So now Seawald comes on in the 9th.
Yeah.
He gives up a double, 2-run homer, solo homer, and it's 6-6. And now Pfaadt doesn't get the win. Now, Pfaadt has 7 starts since he's returned. He's 6-0 with 1 non-decision, and we can blame Seawald for that. But look, I'm not here to throw dirt on Seawald. He's just whatever it is. I mean, the dude can't even get people out now. He can't get him out.
Yeah, whatever. He's throwing the same way. He threw at the beginning of the season. He threw it directly over the plate at high 80s, and guys were missing it. It is weird to me how I don't know if it's after everybody wakes up after the trade deadline and they go, now we can figure out how to hit this guy.
No.
But it is amazing to watch how it falls apart so quickly with him.
His pitches now. because I don't know if it's his sweeper or whatever it was, because it would when they're swinging, the ball's always breaking away. Now when they're swinging, it's not breaking away.
Right.
It's not
his hits are right down the middle.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
they're-
movement, but they're right down the middle of the plate, batting
yeah,
practice.
I can see that. I mean, I said, man,
I
he
blame
didn't have
Dale
to
for Sewald's demise. But I was saying yesterday on the show, I said, okay, I expect the Diamondbacks to DFA Sewald, maybe Thompson as well in those moves.
Yeah,
But and I said I expect that, and I expect a couple young guys to be brought up. And the reason why I was focusing on that was they moved a couple young guys from Reno into their taxi squad, which means you're not on the team, but you're here in case you're needed in a hurry, type of a deal. So I thought maybe those moves were coming. And the only one that happened was Gallen to the 60-day IL as of now.
Well, I'll tell you who's been impressive to me, and I hadn't ever heard the kid's name until the Diamondbacks brought him up, and I thought they just brought him up just to give them another bullpen arm. But I'm telling you, this Geraldo Carrillo, I mean, this dude is. I'm like, wow. I mean, he threw 2 shutout innings, and every time they brought him in, he's putting up a goose egg.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay.
His movement is fun to watch as well.
Diamondbacks have some arms down there because, look, I was still expecting them, and I knew that it's either once they sent Cabrera down, I still haven't found this out. It's either 15 days or 15 games before he's eligible.
It's got to be games because he pitched 80 pitches in Reno last night or the night before. So it's got to be games because we're well past 15 days.
How did you do down there?
Good. Oh, he did good. Yeah. He should be up here.
Yeah.
He should be up here filling
What
in.
about Brandon Garcia?
Who got in yesterday?
Dude, I'm telling you. And he's got 3 saves now in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's 2 for 2 since they've demoted Sewald. This dude, now his stuff, I mean, I'm like, dude, why are they swinging at his stuff that they're swinging at is like lowing away and in the dirt. So I can only think of another pitcher that threw something like that, a nasty left-hander. And his name was, I think, Randy Johnson or something like that.
As a lefty?
Yeah. I mean, and so Garcia kind of has that kind of some type of splitter or slider or something like that. And
they make up weird names for pitches these days. Like where did that sweeper or slider thing came from? It's
I don't know.
Yeah, sweeper's about a 2-year-old. I mean, it's always been there, but now it's like prominent.
Yeah, everybody's throwing it now.
And so look, Garcia. And so you look back on that trade. It didn't mean anything to me at the time. Diamondbacks traded Josh Naylor to the Mariners for Brandon Garcia. So Garcia comes up. And he doesn't last long. He's banished down to the minors. And this guy named Andy Hoffman, who they picked up in the Grichuk deal, I mean, it looked like he was a guy that was probably going to make any type of impact. But, oh, my gosh. Garcia has been lights out. He is a stud.
I think he has a mentality to be a closer as well. That's what I kind of picked up on him. Now, yesterday wasn't a close situation. But he goes out there with just this mentality of, this is my game, hand me the ball, let me do my work, and I'm just going to walk off. And I like it.
Well, I don't blame Torrey for going to him because he went to Sewald in a non-close situation.
Low leverage situation is what they call it.
Yeah, thought you'd give him some work, and boy,
on Friday I said, Sewald needs to get his confidence back, put him in a blow. I said in a blowout game. I said this all on Friday.
Yeah, I see.
And then Saturday I was like, okay, that experiment's done.
Yeah.
He needs to. And I hate to say it, but you got to DFA him. You cannot throw him on that mound. You could be up 100-2.
Well, yeah.
You can't throw him out there.
Yeah,
you can't
because he's out of minor league options, and you have no choice. I mean, let somebody else deal with it.
That's why I was for sure yesterday they were going to DFA him and get a young kid up that can be in there with a fresher arm kind of a situation. So I'm kind of surprised it didn't happen. It shouldn't surprise me because it's the D-backs.
I think they're leaving that move open
for a J-Mart or something.
Well, absolutely.
So what are you going to do, though? You're not going to put him in a game, are you?
J-Mart?
No. Sewald.
Well, no.
So you're just going to let him flounder for the next week and a half or whatever it is?
I guess so. But I'm with you. I mean, what difference does it make if you DFA him now or tomorrow or a week from now?
But you could have a young guy come up here, and have a fresher arm in the bullpen
that's available
that you would be more confident if you needed somebody to come in even in a low leverage situation. You'd be more confident in some young guy that you've never seen in Reno than you would with Seawald walking out
you know
there.
what? You ain't lying there. I mean,
So that would be the difference to me is you're just going to let Seawald
yeah.
sit in. That tells me they're
Yeah.
planning on they'll use Seawald in another
please,
low leverage
don't say
situation
that.
again.
Don't say that. I've
Why
seen
why
enough.
keep him out there?
I've seen enough. Well, you make a very good point there. You make a very good point.
What you
there.
do is you do the old baseball thing like they're doing with Gallen. Oh, Seawald's shoulder hurts him. Yeah, 15-day IL. And then he goes into that. You can still pay him if that's
Well,
the
his
loyalty.
His money's guaranteed
Yeah.
whether they.
But so
they get
you
paid
so
or
you
not.
make that move and you bring somebody up. If you don't want to embarrass him, that's what you do. That's what they're doing with Gallen. That's what you do with Seawald if you don't want to embarrass him. Simple. And then you quietly move him to the 60 or you just move on from him at that point. It's that simple. That's all you got to do, Coop.
Yeah,
Instead of keeping him out. Why if the reason you keep him out there is because you might need him someday.
Well, no. I can't. At this point, if you say I might need him, then I have to have confidence to put him out there. I have zero confidence to throw him back out there.
Well, just if what he said to Torrey when he was demoted is true, it worried me a little bit. According to Torrey, when they told Seawald he's not going to be closer, his response was, and I'm paraphrasing here, his response was, "Hey, whatever I need to do for the team, I'm more than happy to give up my closer role." I'm paraphrasing that here, and that scares me a little bit because I want somebody who gets told they don't have a job anymore to go, "What do I have to do to earn that back? Get me back out there. I'm going to earn that job back from you right now." And if you go, "Oh, that's okay. Yeah, somebody else could take the closer role, and I'll take this role." I don't necessarily believe that's what he said with Torrey, but Torrey's letting it out there, and it's just like, oh my God, if he said that, that alarms me even more of his mental state.
Yeah, but it's
right
also
now.
how are you going to argue the facts that
You don't have to
the
argue
facts.
it. You don't have to argue it. You just go, okay, what
Facts
do I
are the
need to do?
facts, yeah.
What do I need to do to earn this spot back?
Well, do you
Can I
really
work
need-
with
do-
you?
Do you really need to ask that?
Yeah.
You
Well,
need to go get some outs, man.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. But I don't want to see somebody go, it's all right. Yeah, somebody else could take that role. I'm good with it.
And then at the end of the day, all this nonsense, and what did they do? Go out yesterday and do?
Yeah,
My boy Brandon Pfaadt.
and here-
3 pitchers pitched yesterday too. Yeah.
And here's the deal. So they get Lars Nootbaar. So okay, so he's got to be your Max Kepler if you make it to the postseason. But
With
I'm
worse stats.
But I'm like, dude, why do you think I just rather get somebody who's going to be productive. I have more confidence in the postseason with Lourdes Gurriel, and
That's
I think
the thing. You're about to get him back.
Yeah, and so I don't need
Yeah.
Nootbaar. I really don't. I'd have been fine if the Diamondbacks, based on the fact that they didn't get Burleson or another starter, or even a bullpen arm. I'm okay. I'm okay. Let's just roll with what we have.
Well, that's their stance. That's definitely their stance. We'll talk more trade deadline here. The problem that I have with the way the Diamondbacks did this trade deadline is the Diamondbacks, and we'll play the clip here coming up for you here, but they tried to make deals. And they didn't have the people to make the deals with other teams.
Or they weren't willing to give up the guys that other teams wanted.
And look, I'm still.
But that I can understand.
And I'm still mad, So I see the Dodgers get Tarek Skubal. So anytime they make a move, I get more and more angry with Shohei Ohtani.
For going there?
No, for taking $1 million.
That's what
I
I
mean,
mean.
heck, you
Yeah.
make more money than
I know.
Ohtani does.
No,
I mean, the dude's he's deferred.
Is he? He's not making $1 million. Isn't he only making like $250,000 a year?
No,
or something like that?
he's making $1 million.
Oh, is that what it is?
I
Okay.
heard that he deferred $1 trillion
Yeah.
and only took $1 million.
Yeah, he took whatever the minimum
I'm
he could
obviously
take was.
exaggerating.
No,
$1
I think
trillion.
he's making $2 million, defer the rest.
Yeah.
And I have seen a lot of articles about that's exactly why there'll be a strike and maybe
Oh, yeah.
not a season.
I mean, the
Well-
Dodgers did the right thing in deferring it. Every Major League Baseball team defers it. Money in the
But
future
you
is
don't-
worth
but
less
you
than
don't-
now.
As a player, you don't defer 99.9%
He's gonna make
of
more.
your salary.
He's going to make more money because of it.
But it's an outrage.
Coop, after you and
it allows the Dodgers would not have been able to acquire.
Well, no,
Skubal,
and that's my argument. I got in an argument on Twitter a few weeks ago with some math nerd that was telling me the time value of money. I understand that, but my theory is on this is if you're going to buy a guy like Skubal, because they're going to sign Skubal for like $500 million or something before the end of this year, and that goes to strike. They're going to do that. If you're going to spend that kind of money, pay it up front. That's all I ask.
Yeah,
Pay it up front.
and-
Don't defer it for the next
Well,
30 years.
yeah,
Pay
and-
it up front.
And the Dodgers, like I said, if Ohtani takes his money, like he did with it when he's with the Angels, the Dodgers would not be able to have
Right.
Skubal and some of these other.
Well, that's the thing.
studs.
No matter if you have unlimited money, you eventually run out of money. Type of a thing. Let's take Dale knows that.
i.e. the live. golf tournament. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PIF, billions of dollars. You eventually pull the fund on it. And then the owner, is being investigated for all these, tax and fraud charges and stuff like that with his companies. It's just an interesting take there. When we come back, we'll keep it going with the trade deadline. Because as I said, everybody the Diamondbacks are going up against got better yesterday.
And the Diamondbacks getting better internally.
The main event with Bruce Cooper. Come on back. Second hour main event here with Bruce Cooper here on these Tuesdays, talking some Diamondbacks trade deadline stuff right now. We will talk NFL coming up here in a little bit, of course, with Coop. And of course, this guy, Dale Hellestree, chiming in.
I'm just over here all by myself.
No, you can chime in anytime.
Coop and Bruce they do their own thing. But I want to reiterate, what did you say when we were just talking and coming back from the break?
Me?
Who are the Diamondbacks?
Welcome to the main event is what I said.
Not going to have who when?
Kepler for the playoffs.
Playoffs.
I will say this. The trade yesterday did make me feel better because I had this awful feeling that because Pavin Smith wasn't picked up, so he's with AAA. I had this terrible feeling Kepler wouldn't be able to play in the playoffs. And then here comes Pavin Smith again.
For the rescue.
I'm ready to play, guys. I had a terrible feeling. So that kind of squashed that feeling yesterday. So I will say that as well.
Something's wrong with this thing. He's just not right, man.
Yeah, well, he's just sitting there.
He's not right.
No, there's a history. The Diamondbacks caused me to be this way, Coop. That's the difference.
Oh, my God.
There we are. Of course, local legend Bruce Cooper joins us. We're live on YouTube, TME Media AZ out there, and, of course, on demand after that as well. But the Diamondbacks, so they made the trade deadline. I told everybody last week Diamondbacks aren't going to make a big move, and you saw the big bats slowly go to other teams. It wasn't an expensive trade deadline. Even Scooble to the Dodgers wasn't. The Tigers GM is out defending his move because they got 3 minor leaguers back for Scooble. He's out there doing that stuff right now. So it wasn't an expensive trade deadline by any stretch of the imagination. But I was telling everybody last week, Diamondbacks are happy with who's coming back, and they're going to bet onto that. But then your GM, Hazen, after the trade deadline yesterday, goes to the media and they know, your fans are frustrated and stuff like that. Coop, here's what Mike Hazen had to say yesterday about his frustration levels.
Listen to you right now. Yeah, I think it's frustrating in the sense of listen to you right now. Yeah, I think it's just when you're more frustrated.
It keeps looping here.
Listen to you right now. Yeah, I think it's frustrating in the sense of, watching the way the team played and wanting to do your part to add in wherever you can. And, we got a really good player and we have a really good team. So I know that, it's still a little raw for me right now, just the last week, the work that was put in. And, that's what I'm going to reflect on. And I hope that we go out there and continue to play the brand of baseball that we've been playing the last few weeks.
That's a guy that is 100% content with this team being what it is.
Oh, you're not buying his frustration level?
No, not at all.
Oh, see, Steve, and how do you come up to that conclusion?
You look at him. Look at his body language.
What?
Look at the way he's talking. Oh, what did he focus on in that conversation? He focused on what, guys? He focused on how good this team is. This team is really good right now. This team is great. I'm perfectly comfortable with this team the way it is. That's why you get all that.
One thing I forgot. I forgot about he reads body.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
All
Bruce.
that stuff.
You don't have to deal with for an hour a week. I got this 5 days a week.
His body. Nothing told you there. He limited effort.
Well, what's he supposed to do? Get up and bang? Hey, I offered the world. I offered everybody, and nobody took anything.
Yeah, because you don't have anybody to trade unless you trade what has now become my major league talent. Waldschmidt. A lot of guys that are on the major league team now that normally you'd want to unload to get to that side. They're up against a trade. They tell us how they're up against the luxury tax and they don't want to go into it, so they'd have to trade talent numbers in order to bring guys back to stay under the luxury. All of that was said beforehand. So how frustrated can you be, Coop, when you've set for the last week and a half about how it's going to be hard to make trades with the luxury tax and the pricing of these guys, and we're not going to unload our major league. How frustrated can you be that you didn't make any moves except for one that makes very little sense out there? How frustrated can you be?
Yeah, I, to be honest with you, based on what the Diamondbacks did, I wish that they just wouldn't have done anything because I'm not a Lars Nootbaar fan. I would have stuck with my guns and say, hey,
Didn't it feel like, because that trade happened at like 2:50 yesterday our time, didn't it feel like they're like, let's just get somebody?
Yeah, I got to admit it did.
That's how I felt about it.
Because especially after learning that he was their plan B from the Cardinals, wasn't even their plan A. And so, look, I'm encouraged enough by what the Diamondbacks have had on the injured reserve list that's coming back. And I've given some of these young kids a chance to play. Mm-hmm. Like, I think now, I didn't really like losing Alek Thomas because I thought he could be like a defensive replacement. But, man, the way they use Barossa in that role right now.
And Walshman's been playing defense really well, too, in center field.
And so the young kids, even Tommy Troy, who's hurt right now,
you're getting him back, too.
Yeah, I've been so impressed with the number of young kids that have come up. You know, I thought that maybe Lou James Groover is the only one that looked like he was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So send him back down to the minors and let him keep going. But I mean, from Tommy Troy to Ryan Walschmidt to Jose Fernandez to start the season. I mean, there are 3 rookies right there. I'm like, wow, the future is pretty good right there. Because then now we also open the door for Barossa to play more. We've already seen how Jordan Lawler's come of age. So, look, there's a handful of guys right there from position players that I'm like, I like.
Look at Coop talking us off the ledge here.
No, I like what the Diamondbacks.
I don't disagree with you. My problem is with what he just said is, it's fine if you would have stayed flat and sold us on that. That's one way to do it.
Right.
But you can't sell us on that like they did for a week and then go to the thing and be like, I'm frustrated. We couldn't get anybody out there.
But
it's like you can't have it both. Were you trying to make big deals because you're not confident when you've been telling us you're confident with these guys coming back, and now you're telling us you try to make all these big deals and nobody would bite? It's just the constant back and forth with these guys.
Well, Steve,
get a plan and stick to it.
No, you can't have a plan because guess what? You can want to trade as much as you want to trade, but if the other party doesn't want to trade.
Well, no, that's my point, though. But leading up to it, he was saying we have all these guys coming back. Well, if you're happy with these guys coming back and you might not make big moves and you're setting that up, then why are you now telling us you're trying to make all these big moves and nobody just couldn't get it done? Why were you making big moves if you were perfectly content with everybody being there?
That's
makes my head hurt. That's all I'm saying. It makes my head hurt.
Well, what makes my head hurt is you yelling and screaming about nonsense.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I expected them to make no moves yesterday. I expected them to get I expected the deal they were going to make was they're going to get some arm that nobody cares about in somebody's deep bullpen someplace, and they're going to get an arm in here. I thought that would be the move. I didn't think they were going to make any big moves last week. I told you that last week when you wanted a rise in everybody. I was like, you're not getting them because other guys are going to bid more.
I'm looking for someone that can play first base every day and be productive.
I don't disagree.
I think I've seen, I don't know where I read it somewhere, but the OPS or the Diamondbacks production from first base is 30th.
Yeah.
They're last.
Well, the whole team is 22nd, Coop.
Well,
you can take them off all the time.
They've got next to nothing from first baseman. And so when I look at what Josh Naylor provided a year ago, what Eugenio Suarez provided a year ago from an offensive standpoint, because look, I'm not mad at Arenado at third base, at glove of his. I mean,
that's why they brought him in, was his defense.
Oh man, and you know, and he has 15 home runs. So I mean, he hasn't hit the Geno number, but I mean, he saved a lot of runs. So I'm always good about defensive runs saved. I'm big on that as well. So I mean, and granted, I say that, and his error, one of the few errors he's had this year, produced the only run of the game for the Padres last night. But that aside, I mean, I'm only concerned about first base. I mean, and I think our best first basemen that I've seen this year are Tawa and Vargas. Platooning, because I'm not a Tyler Locklear fan.
He hasn't played terrible since he's been back up, though.
Huh?
I know you're not.
I'm not a Locklear fan.
Yeah.
I'm just.
He's not winning you over, huh?
Now look, If you look at his body size, I mean, he looks like a Burleson, kind of guy. But at least Burleson smacks him out of the yard. This guy does nothing. I mean,
why do you keep bringing up Burleson? You're making me more and more depressed because the Diamondbacks tried to get him, and he ends up hitting 3 home runs last night.
Yeah.
Bombs too on top of it. So Newbar, I just want to put a bomb. It just felt like they were like, we have to get something today at the trade
I
deadline.
agree with you on that.
And 3 home runs. Now he comes off an injury last year in the beginning of the season. He's only played in 48 games. 687 OPS. That's not going to help that statistic at all as well. But even then, for a career, 742 OPS, double-digit home runs in every season but 2 for him. It's just another guy coming in here.
Again,
as an outfielder.
I feel more comfortable with Loris Gurriel there. I mean, look, whether you let's say that whether you had a first baseman or a DH, because Burleson can do either.
Yeah, and they need a DH.
I think I would have, maybe acquiesced or tried a little harder, especially now learning from you that there is some control. There is some control going forward.
I don't have the years, but it's multi-year
because going forward, Diamondbacks, guess what? In 2027, one of their biggest needs, first base.
Yeah.
Every
year they need a first baseman or a third. Well, every year since they, let holy cow, I just forgot his name. Christian Walker go. Because before that it was Goldie. But every year you need a first baseman and a third baseman, and you're getting these older guys now to fill those spots. It's like they don't view that position as very good. But like I said, the big problem I have in all seriousness, like I said, I didn't expect the Diamondbacks to do anything yesterday except maybe a low end arm from the bullpen someplace. I thought they were going to rest on guys coming back, and I'm fine with that. But then you look at what other teams around them that are in these playoff hunts that have made moves out there. And I'm talking, Padres, who, of course, they beat last night. 3 more games coming up here. I got to get that in because Dale wants to keep driving that point home. Padres, they won last night.
I know the Padres got what? Robbie Ray and Casey Mize?
And Miguel
Robbie
Mendez.
Ray's still around.
Pitching. Yeah. He was with the Giants.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it to you like this. If you go down and break down each team that they made their trade.
They got Casey Mize, too.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Oh,
right.
did you say him? I'm sorry, yeah.
Right. So you got to ask yourself, you look at the Padres break down their now starting rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like that rotation in a head-to-head matchup, let's say a wild card matchup, better than what the Diamondbacks have? My answer is no.
No, but I like if the Padres came into this series with the Diamondbacks, the hottest offensive team in Major League Baseball.
And they got shut down.
And they got shut down last night by a fat 5. So I'm more worried about the Padres' bats in the playoffs than I am the pitching staff in terms of if you're looking at.
But those are the moves that they made that was pitching. They didn't add any more bats.
So their pitching got a little bit. Because I think they're expecting their pitching to wake up with the money they're spending on it.
But again, if you're breaking down the competition at wild card, I like, even though the Padres went out and got Ray and Mize, I still like the Diamondbacks over the Padres.
Yeah, but then you got the Phillies who they're competing with who made big moves yesterday.
The Phillies acquired a Rise, right?
Yeah.
But do you see what Philly's having to do to accept him?
But this to me, this is an amazing thing that they're doing. This tells me that the players are in on trying to figure out to win.
This tells me he plays second base. 9.
He plays second base. The reason why the Diamondbacks couldn't get him, by the way, is he was like, I'm only playing second base. And the Diamondbacks aren't bringing him in.
So
and
that's precipitating 3 changes from Philadelphia.
Bryce Harper.
Yeah, Bryce Harper going back to the outfield and somebody going to first base.
I think Eric Bohm will probably be the first base.
And all that, just because he has said, I will only play second base. I don't want that guy on my team.
But the players bought in.
No, I don't want that. And guess
what? The superstar on that team went, I'll go to the outfield.
And guess
no problem.
what? In about 10 days, Bryce Harper's come up with a hammy or a quad.
Well, here's the deal for Harper. Harper's been a outfielder his entire Major League Baseball.
But he's old, Coop.
That's why they moved him down to first base.
Yeah, just like you and I.
Hey Dale, he's only in his 30s.
Yeah.
A lot of miles on that body, though,
you
the way he plays.
You tweak things in your 30s, Coop. You don't tweak in your 20s.
I barely remember watching Pete Rose play baseball because I was young when he was in the league. I remember more on the manager side and things. But from what I see of Pete Rose, that's how hard Bryce Harper plays out there. And it's just the miles on that body, not the age. for Harper with how physical
look,
he is.
it amazes me because the thing that impresses me more about Philadelphia is their bats anyway. If I were them, I'd been trying to get some more arms in there. But now, look, I'm not mad at Arraez. I mean, this guy's he's been a 3-time National League batting champion, and I mean, he just makes contact. He may not hit the home runs at the rate of a Kyle Schwarber, but you don't need him to. You know, set the table, be up at bat and get those timely hits that bring in runs. So I guess their philosophy is to outscore their opposition.
Oh, yeah, they struggle at that at times. That's why they're trying to figure out their side. But Dodgers improved. Forget about, Skubal going there. That's obviously a huge improvement. But they made other trades out there. Chris Bubik going over there, left-handed pitcher, helping them out as well. So Dodgers made a bunch of moves yesterday. Brewers obviously picked up some moves. Now, they're more in the division rival side, and I don't consider the Cubs and the Brewers competition for the Diamondbacks in the playoffs because I just think they're both going to make it. Type of thing. But the Marlins, made trades yesterday, in the National League as well to add to their side, which is interesting because everybody was thinking that the Marlins might sell yesterday, even though they were playing well leading up into that.
They're only like, 2 or 3 games out. I wouldn't have sold.
Right.
But you don't know that ownership, though.
Well, that is true.
Everybody was holding their breath.
But I will say this. I will say this about the Diamondbacks. The strength of their team is unquestionably their bullpen. And so the thought of adding Justin Martinez, to that, it excites me.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I got a tip of the hat to Hazen. I mean, I remember these signings that he's making. Jonathan Loaiza. I mean, it's like back page news for me.
For everybody.
Taylor Clark, back news to me. And Paul Sewald, I mean, that raised an eyebrow. I'm like, dude, seriously?
Right.
But I mean, every one of his moves in that bullpen has panned out, even Sewald, but now it's time to say, okay, Sewald,
but as I told you before, it's worked out because the starting pitching has worked out this year.
But again, give him credit. He went out and he brought in Michael Soroka. Soroka was a big part of that.
Yeah, and when he signed him, everybody was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember at the beginning of the year, everybody was like, he's down. When Merrill Kelly comes back, he's out of here.
I did the same thing when they signed Soroka, just like I did the other thing. It's like, okay, no big deal. Back page news. But so I really like their pitching, especially knowing that, Ryan Nelson and Corbin Burns at some point over the next month will be available. Yeah. And so now you look at the plus side of that. We found 3 young arms on the farm that we knew nothing about. They acquired Brad and they acquired Drake from the Merrill Kelly deal a year ago. But heck, they were in the Rangers system, so we knew nothing about them. And who heard of Cabrera on the Diamondback system? Those 3 arms have impressed me, just like I said, talked about the 5 position players. So I think the future is bright for the Diamondbacks. I really do. I don't know a darn thing about any of these players that they've drafted, but they've come through and look at where they are, knowing that Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, and Geraldo Perdomo have grossly underperformed.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what's amazing. Throw up the NL wildcard standings really quick, Dale, while you give your thoughts here.
And the other thing that I'm going to say, I think the trade deadline was muddied up a little bit because literally you could say there's 3 teams in the National League, 3 teams in the American League who are out of it. You could make a case for Cincinnati, hey, we're only 6 games out. Is that too far out? Yeah. And then in the American League, Kansas City, the Athletics, and the Angels are all double digits behind.
And they were sellers.
And everybody else is kind of in the hunt.
Yeah, dude, just last year, the Mets were like 13 games back. And they went on this great run, and they overtook the Diamondbacks for that final wild card spot. Yeah. I mean, they went into a series against the Braves. Okay, we need one. We can't.
Last year was injuries, though. This year, they're just not good.
Yeah.
Last year remember how injured the Mets were, and then they got everybody back and went on that run. Yeah. But I mean, they sold some pieces yesterday. I think signing Juan Soto is like messing up that Mets team beyond belief here. But I mean, your competition here, right? Phillies won last night, so Diamondbacks, Phillies tied for that third, wild card spot as still. Padres 2 games back now, and this is where Diamondbacks have 3 more games against the Padres.
Yeah,
You can put some serious distance between
I
you.
really think this is a huge week for the Diamondbacks. I mean, 7 games against the 2 expected playoff contenders from that division, and including and so I just think that if the Diamondbacks can go 4-3. I think they'll be okay. But man, I'm just taking a 500 plus viewpoint. But man, winning last night,
Right.
and you got Eduardo Rodriguez going tonight. Now, keep in mind his last outing, 8 shutout innings. Oh man, I mean, Eduardo's dealing, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
He's dealing.
The thing that I like about the Diamondbacks is they're 7 games up right now. So,
Yeah.
you're looming the Dodgers. I know Dale thinks a sweep's coming by the Diamondbacks, and stuff like that. But you have to be realistic about it and say, the Dodgers are going to be a tough out for the Diamondbacks this weekend. They're a tough out for everybody. So if that goes sideways, you got a 7, game lead above 500 here. And you get a big enough, you win this Padres series.
Yeah,
You're going to have a big enough
that'd be
buffer
huge.
so you
That'd
can
be
slip
huge.
up against the Dodgers. And then you're right back to playing less mediocre, if you dare say that, mediocre teams after that with the Rockies coming up. You got to go to the Braves and the Red Sox for a road trip. That's going to be tough.
Dude,
But then
Red
you got
Sox.
the Reds, the Cubs. Yeah, Red Sox, best team in
Jeez.
baseball right now. Yeah. They came out of nowhere on top of it. Then you got Reds, then the Cubs, a really good team. Then you got the Giants after that. So you've got winnable games here, and they're giving themselves that buffer. Whereas before, the Diamondbacks typically were 500 or flirting with that and have to pass 4 or 5 teams. Be the team on top. So if
Yeah.
you do falter a little bit, you're just going to fall down to the other people's level and give you a fighting chance moving forward. And that's what I like about this
2
team.
and 3 weeks ago, we were going, they're only 3 games out, but there's 4 teams between them and
Right.
a playoff spot.
Right.
And now we're saying, no, they're in the playoffs,
Yeah,
and they're
tied for that
getting some
second spot,
separation. Yeah.
Yeah, and people, let me tell you something. These Red Sox were in Dodger Stadium and they swept the Dodgers. I mean, they have won something like really crazy, like 30 of their last 36
Yeah,
games.
they've
It's insane what
I want to say since end of June, they've won a lot. Yeah,
dude.
because the Marlins were the hottest
and
team in baseball in June, and then they took
yeah,
it over.
I went and looked at the Red Sox roster and I'm like, dude.
And they added
Yeah,
yesterday,
they don't have any names over here that scare me.
and they added a bunch of names on top of it. Well, that's the thing. As hot as they are, they're 60 and 51 right now. And it's like, what? But they were god awful beginning of the year that they're fighting from that side. But I mean, think about that. The Rays are leading that division. Yankees are second. Boston's third right now. In that division, all playoff teams as well. That's a tough division
Yeah.
where they're going to be playing each other coming up. From that perspective. But, so the schedule's not as easy as we thought it was at the All-Star break with who they have. I mean, Cubs are on fire, and they're going to continue to be, especially in that division. You got them coming up on your schedule as well. So it'll be fascinating to see, but they're in the position now. I don't want to say a meltdown would take them out of it, but they're in the position now where they allow themselves some slip-ups. Whereas at the beginning of the first part of the year, they're in that position where if they went on a 6-game losing streak, they would be out of this completely. And now they've given themselves some room to lose a series or so against a team like the Dodgers if it does happen. Dale?
Hey, did Torrey say that Gabby is on a paternity leave?
Yeah, his wife had a baby.
Okay.
So that's why he was scratched last night. I'd like to see Gabby, give McCann more catching opportunities, and then Gabby is DH a little bit more. One that'll allow him to heal a little bit with his hamstring. I know it's getting healthier. But I don't, with the DH problems you're having, why isn't Gabby in there DHing while McCann catches? Yeah, but I don't know how long he'll be out, but she had a baby last night during the game, I think, is what I read.
Okay.
All right, enough baseball. Let's get to real sports.
Erod tonight, 6:40. By the way, Diamondbacks were helped last night by Harry Potter night. A lot of magic going on in that stadium. Tonight they don't have that. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, boy.
That's how I wanted to leave baseball, folks. Thank you very much. Hey, let's take our break, come back. Let's talk football.
Coop, 2 days. Would you be in Canton if you were still working?
Probably so because of the Fitz situation, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't get the call to go this time? They didn't say come out of retirement for this weekend?
Yeah, that wouldn't happen. Coop is he's waving a white flag.
Yeah.
He's
He
done.
doesn't answer.
He's done. He's
So
done.
they'd be like, take your own camera. You're going to be the only one there. Come on back, folks. Main event. And we're back here with the legend, Bruce Cooper, still putting local sportscasting to shame, folks, out there on your television screens. I'll say it for you, Coop, out there as well. Hey, Cardinals camp. Couple things happened over the weekend. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Because if you're freshly out of college, it's going to be your second year in the league, and you continue to have knee problems, you're not going to, those problems aren't going to go away as you get older and
especially
more
if
beat
you're
up.
a certain position.
Yeah, defensive lineman. Walter Nolan on Friday limped off the field. Nobody really saw what happened. Limped off the field, ended up coming back out and talking. LaFleur said he's fine. They checked it out. It's all fine. Ended up practicing over the weekend again. But this is concerning because he's brand new in the league, and it's a continued problem, and it's not going to get better.
Okay, let me tell you something, because I did hear somebody talk about this a little bit, and I lived through it. Okay, I completely dislocated my ankle. All the ligaments and all that were gone. Fractured my fibula. It was in training camp of my first year in Los Angeles with the Raiders. I have immediate surgery.
You played for the Raiders?
Well, I never played.
He was on the roster.
I signed as a free agent, but when the first free agency things opened, got a nice contract, and then about 3 days into camp got hurt. On a grass field, by the way. And we could talk about it some other time.
Well, they were in Oakland at this time, or they're in L.A.?
No, they're in L.A.
So they're playing the baseball field?
Yeah. No, they were playing at the Coliseum.
Oh, the Coliseum. Okay. I'm just setting the stage for everybody.
No, but I wasn't playing. I was practicing. But I did that. Total dislocation of the ankle, fractured fibula. Did surgery, all the rehab, come back the following training camp. And it takes you a little while to get adjusted and to trust it. Because all of a sudden, bam, I step with that left foot and I feel a little twinge. It's like, and I've talked to the trainers, like, I felt something. Yeah, you're going to feel something. Because I never had an injury like that before. Right. And so I'm kind of hoping that's what Walter Nolan is working through. It was why I'm telling the story about me, is that a pretty significant injury. And now all of a sudden, I stepped and I felt a little something. Yeah. Is it happening again?
Right.
And you got to get through here.
Right. Unfortunately, I know what you're saying. I tore an ACL, MCL, and some PCL stuff like that.
All the CLs.
Yeah. And look, I became an expert of the knee because I've had 3 surgeries to try and fix the ACL issue that I had. And now my 4th surgery is a total knee at this, and I got that 8 years ago. So I'm in great shape now. But but when I came back from that ACL, man, I mentally was whipped.
Yes.
I mean, when I jumped in the air, because I was playing hoops, I jumped in the air even for a jump shot, dude. I'm not even following through or concentrating on the rim. I'm making sure my right leg lands first. That's a good leg before my left leg. And so, I get what you're saying.
And make sure you don't land on somebody.
Yeah,
well,
I get what you're saying.
Let me ask you this, though, because he limped. I mean, it was a noticeable limp walking off with trainers on Friday. When you have that issue, do you naturally limp out of there? You just feel something? Because the limp is what worried me a little bit. Was a player generally will try to hide that type of stuff. And it was a noticeable limp walking off. So if it is a mental thing, would you have that side of an effect? Is my question for you. When your ankle went out, were you all of a sudden limping on it because you felt something?
Well, yeah, because you feel a tweak, feel something, and you don't know if that's the precursor to revisiting this same issue.
That makes a lot of sense, though. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's just that. But this Nolan is. I see why they drafted him. He's explosive as all heck, even in practice. You saw it in his limited game times and stuff like that. But like I said, you just got to wonder about a guy that has a problem like this early in his career because, you're not making it to year 8 or 9, if you're already having these problems now.
Yeah, but you'd almost rather have something like this when you're younger because you do get better quicker and all that. So Again, I think 90% of that limp was the
Okay.
6 inches between his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we asked Dale these questions, Bruce.
Yeah,
He gives us that
Dale's
insight.
been through that, and unfortunately, I did experience that ACL injury. So
Yeah.
I know exactly. I can relate.
The other thing is, I mean, the Cardinals put him right back out there the next day in practice,
Yeah.
said he was fine. So that tells me it's more
Get
what you're
back
saying.
on the bike.
Exactly. And look, learn to deal with this. You're going to
Yeah.
feel this. Somebody's going to hit your leg while it's planted, and you're going to be all right. Just deal with it. And
You
that
talk
type of
about
stuff.
landing with trying to land the opposite foot and all that. Again, the first live drill, you're stepping down on a double team or whatever. All of a sudden, you feel a kick around your lower leg, and it's like, am I going to get up from this and all that? Until now it becomes back to normal again. So
They released their depth chart yesterday. Algier, of course, is in the running back one spot.
Algier.
Love second. But they even said in the press conference, I was going to call him Allgaier. If you guys follow me on the pit stop, you'll know why, because it's spelled the same. But he's one. Love is two, but it's pretty much 1A, 1B at this point between those guys.
look,
James Conner third, by the way.
Look, you can watch just the way they go through drills, go through practice. You can tell who's electric and who's not.
yeah.
This guy's electric. I mean,
You mean Love? Or-
yeah,
or, yeah.
Jeremiah.
I just want to clarify,
You-
Coop.
you-
Maybe you switched on us, and maybe you're talking about Algier.
Look, you see his quick feet. You see his jump his jump steps. And his cutting ability. I mean, it's top drawer. And so those are kind of feet like what Barry Sanders had. I mean, look, I'm never going to compare anybody's feet to Barry Sanders because he's one of one. But Love has that type of foot movement, that type of elusiveness. And so Algier is who he is. He's a guy that's going to pound between the tackles, but he's also very adept at catching the ball out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can bounce it outside and turn on the speed, but he's not the if he's the Thunder, then without questioning,
That's what I'm getting at.
the guys like
The two of these guys, and I've seen them in the practice moving and stuff like that. I think they're going to be a potent 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And I'll even go a step farther. James Conner's listed as 3 right now. I think then you throw in a James Conner for a third down type of a play, a short yardage play, or maybe a red zone type play. And that's just adding another physical element to that defense that you're going to wear defense down throughout the game if those 3 guys, it's like 3 different ways to do a running game. It's not just throwing the same thing out there. You got 3 legitimate threats out there at that point. I'm actually kind of excited to see those 3 out there.
Look, James, you say short yardage and goal line with James Conner. Well, heck, that's Algier anyway.
Yeah, but I'm just talking the physicalness that James Conner will bring. James Conner is going to be, I think he's more physical than Algier is. He'll just lower his head and pound some guys throughout those elements. So you integrate those 3 different styles of running backs and 3 different threats out there. I think it's going to be potent. And then just get rid of Trey McBride at this point.
You mean Trey Benson?
Or Trey Benson, I'm sorry.
Well,
Steve McBride. I'm sorry, I slipped up there. Steve McBride.
Hey, look,
Good catch there, Coop.
Benson has shown me this is year 3 for him. I'm ready to give him that.
He didn't even
B,
practice
I'm ready
over
to
the
give him
weekend.
that B label,
Yeah.
that bus label.
He didn't even practice this weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if something's wrong with him or not. But.
Well, at this point, 3 years in, and you gave him every opportunity to be that dude last year.
Right.
I mean, 3 years in, and he's come back this year. Now let's go ahead and put that B B next.
He's
to his
too
name.
left right. He's not.
Bus, get rid of
He's
him.
not running up. He's left right, kind of a dancing type running back, and that's not what the Cardinals need right now.
Well, and see that's what really shocked me. And look again, you got a new coaching staff coming in, but Amari DeMercado has been, and he was an undrafted free agent,
Mm-hmm.
far more productive than Benson was. And granted, look, that 77-yard run that should have been a 78-yard run. I mean, I think that's been held against him. But he had some big runs and catches during his short time with the Cardinals. And I wouldn't have given up on him. Certainly not for a Trey Benson.
Here's the thing about James Conner, and tell me if you agree with me, at least from my perspective. When James Conner runs the football, it's a battering ram.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get tackled by the first guy. And you could actually hear the crowd respond to him running the football.
He runs angry.
And the crowd responds to that. And I think the team responds.
I agree
to that.
100%.
So I think you got to find. And again, I have not watched a whole lot of Algier, and obviously I will.
Oh, he's
this
a
year.
former linebacker who converted to running back, and he runs like a linebacker.
And so I have not watched a whole lot. So short yards run, but you've got to find a role for James Conner to carry the ball 6, 7, 8 times in a game, almost like back in the day. And we're going to get into that hopefully shortly rather than talk about all this nonsense because the important Hall of Fame thing is this.
It's coming.
But to not get the ball to Larry Fitzgerald in the first quarter was criminal if you're a Cardinal coach. I don't care if it's a 3-yard out. I don't care if it's a 2-yard stop. Get the ball in his hands early in the game, and let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, 2 years ago with James Conner being somebody that went to every game, James Conner led that team 2 years ago. Last year,
he did.
When he got injured, you can almost feel a balloon let out. Even with me, where I was like, "Oh, crap."
Like 2 years ago, I think he had 18 total touchdowns, and I think McBride may have had one.
You got one late in the year,
So people were making a big deal of that. I'm like, dude, we're not going to play favorites about who's getting in the end zone. As long as they get in the end zone. That's all
well,
you care
McBride
about.
would get him down to the one, and then they'd give it to Conner. That's why people were complaining.
And here's the deal: McBride had over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards receiving. It wasn't like he wasn't an integral part, but he just couldn't get in the end zone.
But he would get stopped. He gets stopped. It was so funny watching because he gets stopped at the 1 or 2 all the time.
And let me tell you, in the 1995 edition of the Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl champions. That's the year Emmitt Smith set the record for most touchdowns in a season. He had 25.
Wow.
They went back and looked at it. Michael Irvin got tackled inside the 5 20 times. Isn't
that amazing? And then hand the ball off.
That was basically Trey McBride and James Conner.
Yes.
Conner benefited from McBride.
As long as you're in the end zone.
Yeah. And Conner's on the wrong side of 30 for a running back.
He is.
But I also think, that there's a place for him with this team, especially with Love and Algier, because like you said, I've never seen Algier. Oh, I guess I did see Algier last year in person with the Falcons. Didn't stand out as guy. James Conner stands out with the way he runs.
Well, tell me this: why can't you have 5 snaps a game where you have Love and Conner,
and they might do that eventually,
and you split out Love as a slot or a.
I think the Cardinals have some 20 and 21 personnel packages in there that allow them to do that, but I think that's with Algier and Love, but you're right. It didn't have to be that combination. It could be Algier and Conner, or it could be Love.
The more I think about this running game, and then the left side of the line, right side with Adams is the main number 1 spot there. Depending on his legal situation up there in Canada. But Bisonis, I haven't seen him in person yet. But, I mean, he was opening some holes on Sunday's practice from what I heard and what I saw from people that were at that practice the other day as the second one. I think he's going to kind of take over, and he might be that right side if anything happens to Adams this year. And he might solidify that spot from what I'm hearing with him as a lineman.
They spent a second-round pick on Chase Bisonis, and so whether he won a starting job this year or going forward, I mean, they saw promise in him to be a future starter, if not an immediate starter. So we'll see. We'll see.
I didn't realize this. Roy Lopez, who I'm excited to have him back because I complained last year the Cardinals got rid of their motor guys last year. Roy Lopez, I just forgot his name again. The long-haired guy that ended up going to Jacksonville. Defensive lineman, the linebacker.
End, rushing the pass.
Yeah, with the long, and then and of course I just forgot number 7 there for the linebacker. What a host I am here! But they got rid of their motor guys. Now you got Roy Lopez had career sack numbers last year in Detroit.
Dennis Gardeck.
Yes, he's the other lineman there.
There you go.
They got rid of those guys, and I forget the lineman's name. White was his name, number 7.
Kaiser
White. those were the motor guys on that defense that they let go last year, and the defense wasn't the same. And I question the motor guys being left off that team. Roy Lopez back into this defensive line as well this year. He had his personal best record in sacks last year. He's back here. His family's here. His family loves to watch him play. Like 50 of them show up to the games, to support him, and all of his family and friends and support here as well. I think this is a huge addition. Do not sleep on Roy Lopez on this defensive line. Now you just got to get Josh Sweat back with whatever his problem is right now. Get him back on this line. If Walter Nolan can stay healthy in that, I think the defensive line's going to be something to pay attention to this year.
The difference between the offense and defense is, in my mind, there's a lot of ifs on defense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If this guy, again, it could all come together, and it could be where we're sitting there going, man, you win 6-7 games, you're again on that upward trajectory. But it also could be
you win one game.
Yeah, all of a sudden Josh Sweat's unhappy and he's not playing.
Well, I don't think Josh Sweat. And look, I could be wrong on this, but I look at it. The Mercury acquired Kelsey Plum.
Yeah.
Now,
Got in the game last night.
She had been on the IL since I guess early June or something like that.
Yeah, couple months.
She just wasn't feeling the sparks. The minute she's traded. Now she's off the IL. She's playing.
Yeah, she was off the bench 21 minutes last night off the bench.
I think Josh Sweat is not feeling the Cardinals.
Yeah.
If the Cardinals did trade him, I think he'd be available immediately.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my opinion.
And then every fan's going to go, well, why didn't you keep him?
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. I think it's a Josh Sweat not being happy. He came here to play for one guy, and he was blown out, and now he doesn't want to be here anymore.
Well, they suck. If the Cardinals were winning, that would change your attitude.
Yeah. I think Will Johnson's going to have a breakout year. He changed his number to 2, so he gets all those bad voodoos out of his way as well. So Cardinals camps updates there. But, of course, I wanted to talk to you, Coop, here, and I challenged you last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, as we're talking about this, his enshrinement, Larry Fitzgerald, August 8th, Saturday, 9 a.m. our time. It's an early deal to roll out of bed, and he's I think he's the first one to go. If he's not first, he's second.
Oh, he's first.
He is first.
He asked what he asked.
So he will be early, 9 a.m. Pay attention to that coming up here. So we all know his acclimates. Every interview I'm seeing with Larry right now, everybody's just talking to him about football stats, which they're fantastic. They're great. Like Dale said, if you weren't around for the Larry Fitzgerald era, whether you're watching the games at home or you were watching them at the stadium, I was lucky enough to do that. Every time he caught a ball, attitude changed in the stadium. If the Cardinals were not doing well, he caught a ball, Larry chant started, the team woke up, Larry got some energy into the team. So it wasn't just a football on the field, thing. It was also the tangible things he did for the fan base here. I mean, this guy had Max Hall. No offense, Max Hall.
No,
but he had bad quarterbacks throwing him the football.
And that's what I wanted to say. I was thinking about that. Like, he's second all time in receiving
behind
yards.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice caught passes from Joe Montana and Steve Young. 2 Hall of Fame guys.
And whoever the Raiders quarterback was.
Yeah, that was the end of his career, whatever. But in the prime of his career, he had 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And here's Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
Stanton. You can go through a list of quarterbacks that
John Skelton.
Yeah, Skelton,
John Navarre.
Yeah. Navarre. That's what I'm thinking of.
Too many Johns.
It's ridiculous. Like after, and then then Carson Palmer shows up finally, right, and gets it. But even Larry and him didn't see eye to eye when Kyler first got here. Kyler didn't throw at him a lot when he first started.
Well, here's the deal. With that, BA Bruce Arians had moved Larry from outside to inside his slot.
Yep.
I can tell you, Mr. Fitz was livid. He was blowing up, and he would tell me that he was upset with his son.
Matt Leinart.
Yeah, because he's telling his son, look, you have cachet, you have pull. You go in and you tell them that, no, I'm going to be on the outside. He said, but Larry just accepts anything they do. So his father was upset at that. And so as we found out, BA, he talks about no risk it, no biscuit. He's looking to go downfield. Larry's not that downfield guy. He's more like that possession guy now at this time. And so BA had a different philosophy. And so Larry still if you look at it, he still flourished. I mean, it took him a while to adjust to that,
Yeah.
and that just upset me. And so, it's different when Kyler comes on board, because the Cardinals had this little philosophy that, okay, maybe the slot receiver spot is the place for him, and I do understand it, and I do understand this from some people. Kyler came in too cocky. He thought he was
Kyler? No.
Mr. Big Stuff, and so I appreciate this from Kyler in that he finally embraced the chatter, especially from teammates, coaches, and his parents, his dad in particular. Dude, you can't be that guy that's barking. See, Cliff Kingsbury gave him too much power. Cliff did not put his foot down. Cliff allowed him to bark at him on the sidelines and on the field. It just not a good. And so Kyler, when things aren't going well for him, he goes sits at the end of the bench and not around the teammates. So he pouts. Those types of things did not ingratiate Larry to Kyler early on.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'll say this, and I know I'll just finish up. But yeah.
Well, before you get into that, just so obviously Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer, Blaine Gabbert threw him passes, Josh Rosen, Kevin Cobb was there at the beginning, Josh McCown, all of that in second in the NFL in reception. It's such an amazing number. Everybody talks about his drop numbers, but to me, that's the most amazing number. Because like what you said, even number 3 on that list, on the all-time list is, I don't have it in front of me right now, is a guy that caught from Hall of Fame quarterbacks and stuff like that. So this is even better here going into it. But Larry's more than just a football
Number 3
field.
all time, I believe, is Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens, yeah. That's who it is.
Okay, so let's hear some back room stories.
Because everybody talks about his football acumen, which is great.
You want to talk about stuff that's non-football.
Tell us about the man,
Well, I'm going to tell you something I'm going to tell you about something recently here, because I could go back and talk to you about Turkey Tuesday. I used to host Turkey Tuesday for Channel 12, and we're trying to raise turkeys for the homeless with all the proceeds benefiting St. Vincent de Paul.
Right.
Well, Larry Fitzgerald, he came to me and said he wanted to donate. Guess he's probably seen some of the ads on
and Tuesdays in NFL Players' Day off most of the time.
Yeah. So I said, okay. He said, but hey, I don't want to be on camera. I said, okay, you don't want to be on camera? He said, I'm serious, Coop. The day you put me on camera is the day I stopped donating. And he says, I want to be a big part of this community. I said, okay. So I gave him my location where I would be, and Larry likes to show up near the end. And I just told him, because I interview people and guests, the celebrities and different guests throughout the 3-hour broadcast.
Right.
So Larry comes towards the end, and I tell my photographers, look, he's coming, but please do not shoot this man on camera. Don't do anything, because he won't get. Larry would go in, he'd buy the rest of the turkeys, and if he didn't feel there was enough, he would buy like pallets of turkeys that would go to St. Vincent de Paul, and he did this every year. And then there was one year he says, Coop, he says, I have a photo shoot in L.A. On Turkey Tuesday day. He says, I'm not going to be there. He says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all of my wide receivers show up. He said, Coop, don't put them on camera. I'm going to have them all show up, and they're going to make a donation, and I'm sending my rep there, and she will give my usual donation and stuff like that. I said, okay, but see, here's the thing that got me. As you know, training camp starts late July, early August.
Yeah. And
then you have games leading all the way up into November. I mean, we're talking late November.
Right.
For Turkey Tuesday and for Thanksgiving. It's always, Turkey Tuesday is always the Tuesday that precedes Thanksgiving Day. And for this guy to remember that and to know that and to come up and say, look, I've already figured this out and worked this out for you because I have this photo shoot. It just speaks volumes to me. And here's the deal. Even to this day, I mean, Larry still calls me because I'm like a part timer with St. Vincent de Paul. So now 12 News has me come down to be interviewed. So Larry asked me where to go, and he says, "Coop, I'm coming to your location. I'm bringing my boys with me. I want them and I want them to see this." And
meaning his kids,
his kids,
Devin
his
and
kids.
them. Okay.
Just thank you. He'd bring his kids, and they all walked in, and Larry went and he bought the pound out. So he still does it to this day. But now I'm gonna give you this. This is something that really, really resonates with me. I'm now. This is like next month will be 6 years for me at St. Vincent de Paul. I think it's about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, Larry, he has this immaculate home up in Paradise Valley area. Matter of fact, it's really different and unique. You know, like he just didn't get cobblestone. He has like this driveway that's probably like a half mile before you get up to his house. But the cobblestones, they're just not any. They're specially brought in from Italy. These are these Italian cobblestones. So now, so he's making a donation to St. Vincent de Paul Furniture because some big shot from LA came in and he made Larry an offer he couldn't refuse on his home there. And so Larry said, okay. The guy kept going up and he made an offer and Larry
Wow.
said, okay, it's yours. I'll just build another one. So Larry got rented like it's still in an elite plate area, but he was just renting there until he gets his new place rebuilt. So when we go into the home now, after that half-mile drive up that Italian
He didn't make you bark on the street?
No, and Larry's not even here this day. He has an assistant there that's going to show me and the guy what all Larry's donating. Okay. So we go inside the house. I mean, dude, it's even tough to describe the home, but it was just huge for one person. I mean, he's just huge, but it was actually as the kids. The kids area, there's areas for just the kids. They each have their own like bedroom, and then there's this big game room. So each kid has his own bedroom, and Larry had these bunk beds. You know, they decided which ones they wanted. And dude, these aren't your normal bunk beds. So the assistants let him know that Larry's donating these. All right. And so when the boys, they would have their friends come over, they could just go in their game room. Man, it's a huge, the entire wall took up like a TV screen. It's like a flat screen wall. And they had all these games and stuff like that. So his boys' friends come over, they can just party. Man, they can sleep in each one of the different rooms with them, and they have all these game rooms to play. So then we go to Larry's barbershop room. It's like walking
barbershop room.
Dude, it really is. Larry had like 4 different sinks and all these big different barbers. So Larry had stylists come to his home. He didn't go to shops. They came to his home. They had everything that any barber would ever need. And they would do, I'm sure you see the braids that Larry had right now. So he had that. And so they took us to Larry's room. She took us to Larry's room, and we're sitting in Larry's room. Dude, his closet, he has a freaking washer and dryer in his closet.
Well, you want to haul clothes throughout the house, dude.
And I'm like, dude, we just left his laundry room area, and it's bigger than most homes. And then outside his bedroom, there's a mini refrigerator. I'm like, I saw why he did that. Because man, it's a long walk to get to his kitchen.
Yeah.
And so the things, but here's the deal. The things that Larry is donating to St. Vincent de Paul, dude, these aren't things that you're going to go find at Ashley's furniture store.
Special stuff.
Yeah, it's unique, it's special. And so this is why this stuff resonates with me. It's like the bunk beds. We took it to a family in South Phoenix. And this family, when you open the door, their floor is dirt. It's a dirt floor.
In South Phoenix? Yeah. All right.
Well,
I know what you mean.
dude. It's.
I'm saying,
It's a certain area.
Just leave
It's
it.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
certain-
In this
it's a
time
certain
in it, yeah,
area.
yeah, I know
It
what
was
you
a
mean.
certain.
Yeah,
It was, it maybe not South Phoenix, but it's like
My point
No.
is that that's Phoenix 2020, 20, or,
Dude,
this time frame is what
dude,
I'm getting
this,
at. Yeah.
This family was poor. It was a dirt floor. All right. I don't know if they had some type of construction that was going on there, but we walked in. It was a dirt floor. I'm like, telling myself, we can't put these bunk beds and stuff on this dirt floor. But I just saying that. But and then the family doesn't have much, and so what we did was we took the guy I was with that was from St. Vincent de Paul that's showing me around and stuff like this. We took pictures of the family that's getting the bunk beds, and the kids, they were so excited to have beds because you know what? They were sleeping on the floor. They had pallets.
Yeah.
And so I'm just, and so the need, and so Larry's donating other furniture, and so the guy from St. Vincent de Paul, he's deciding which families get what. But it stood out to me that the kids that were getting these bunk beds because they're sleeping on floors, dirt floors, with pallets. I'm like, wow, this is unique. So then Larry gives us another call. The place that he's at, he doesn't like the washer and dryer there, so he's donating those to St. Vincent. They're these big front-loading washer and dryer. Well, we go to another place to give this family that doesn't have a washer and dryer. Dude, they're putting it on their front porch. There's a patio they have front. That's
Mhm.
because the little machine that she had work with is on their front porch. And so that's when it started.
Yeah.
That's when it started to hit me the need in I'm just going to say our world basically, but I
Mhm.
mean in our community, I'm seeing this kids sleeping on dirt floors,
Mhm.
washing machines. These elite washing machines are going outside on a patio, the front porch rather. That's how they did their washing.
Right.
And when they didn't have a dryer, they just had a washer. And it's like, wow. And but these are the things Larry, and so again, we take pictures, let Larry know what he's donated. And so he also let us knows this. Every Christmas, and he sometimes don't think to give him, but every Christmas, he takes his boys down to St. Vincent de Paul. Wants no cameras. They serve food
Right.
to the homeless that are coming in and getting their meal for the day.
Yeah.
He wants his kids to understand the value of giving back to your community and things like that. So these are the things that resonate to me about Larry Fitzgerald, the man. Even to this day, he still does that. And he wants zero, zip, zilch, nada publicity about it. And he'd probably be mad if he knew that I'm telling that
Larry,
story.
Larry, don't watch this. I should have prefaced it with that.
I got one last question. I know we're way over time, but I've had special relationships with certain media people. When did you realize that was happening with you and Fitz? From just being a high round draft pick and maybe some questions about him his rookie year, and then all of a sudden turn into obviously a Hall of Famer. Was it a moment? Was it a time period? Was it an event? Was it?
I think it was with his dad. His dad really liked me. And so Larry made a Coop, you got to stop hanging out with my dad. You're encouraging him too much about something. And so he understood that relationship between me and his dad.
Yeah.
And so it just really kind of grew. Our relationship kind of grew from there. And so he met my wife. So now when he meets my wife, I mean, Larry caters to my wife more than he does me. I mean, he dogs me out in front of my wife and stuff like that. But that's
rightfully
what he
so,
does.
probably.
Yeah. And stuff. So, but yeah, I really do believe that it started with my relationship with his dad, because then his dad would obviously go talk to Larry about me. And so Larry came to me one day and said, dude, you got to stop hanging out with my dad. You're a bad influence.
His dad was going, Larry, Bruce Cooper agrees with me. You got to speak up more and stuff to that. No, that's fantastic. Because like I said, we don't hear And you're right. And I'm not going to lie to you, Coop. He's probably going to be mad at you for telling those stories because he doesn't want. But that's kind of why I wanted to ask you those questions. So for those of you Larry fans, we all know he's a Hall of Famer. This is a big moment, not just for Larry, his family, but as Cardinals fans that he's going into the Hall of Fame this weekend. But a lot of people don't know. They think they know, but they don't know that side of him that you, of course, were privileged enough to be around and things. So, Larry, don't be mad at Bruce. We're letting it out that you're a really, really super great guy out there. And don't be mad about that, please, and things like that. Just a couple quick things. I know we're late. JP Shadrick is the new play-by-play voice for your Arizona Cardinals.
JP Shepard?
Yep. I don't know. Says, welcome to the Valley. So, whoever that is. Coming in. Jacksonville's play-by-play guy is what
Is
Ethan
that
just
right?
said. Yeah, coming over as well. I mean, wait till the last minute to make that announcement. Cardinals. I mean, he's known probably for a little bit. So that's the new play-by-play guy with. I'm assuming AQ Shipley's coming back. I haven't heard anything on that. The last thing I wanted to ask you because you were still working. BJ Robinson just signed a big deal, biggest contract in running back.
Bijan Robinson?
Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
Excuse me. What'd I say?
You said BJ.
No. You saw him in high school and stuff like that. I know you're a big fan, so
and
you made that big deal.
I had the Cardinals selecting him.
Did you have him on your All Fever
Absolutely I
team?
did.
Was he All Fever Player of the Year?
No, because you know what?
Who beat him out, right, Dale?
This deal. We talked about this. We said, look, our All Fever, our Players of the Year, they actually come in studio.
Right.
We give them studio. We're asking this dude to come all the way from Tucson. If they were outside the metro area, we just included them on the All Fever team and made special note. But there was no one like Bijan Robinson. Even I can go back to Mario Bates. Same thing with Mario Bates when he was down at Tucson Amphi. I mean, this dude had over 2,000 yards. He was special. Matter of fact, Tucson Amphi played Mesa Mountain View, Jesse Parker's team. You remember Jesse Parker's team in the state finals. And
I remember Jesse Parker's
team. Mountain View won that game. But yeah, so only because if there was some kid that was special in Yuma, someone special down in Blue Ridge, I mean, I'm not going to ask him to drive the 4 hours or even the 2 hours up to do this. I mean, it was, but
so who won it over him?
Who won it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
All right, so I'll give you 4 names. You give me them in order who you're taking.
Okay.
Bijan, Kadeem in high school.
Okay.
Kadeem Carey, Christian Kirk, DJ Foster.
Wow. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. And Kadeem Carey was also on our All Fever team.
He was unbelievable.
Was he? Where was he? High school, Brophy?
No,
he's
in
Tucson. That's right.
Well.
The Carries were Tucson. That's right.
You know, I'm gonna go Bijan 1. That's a great question.
For high school?
Yeah. I'm gonna go Bijan 1. I'm gonna go DJ 2, Christian 3, and
Kadeem 4.
Yeah.
Okay. That was back when Cox broadcast the
That's a
state
great
championship
question.
games, and Kadeem Carey ran back the opening kickoff as a freshman for a touchdown in the championship game. I'm like, who is this kid?
Yeah.
But
he was special.
yeah, okay,
There's no question. But it's so funny. 2 of the 4 were our Friday Night Fever Offensive Player of the Year. The only reason the other 2 weren't because they were down in Tucson.
okay.
I can't do that. I'm going to look up who won it that year over Bijan Robinson. It's going to be somebody. I mean, congratulations to them, but it's going to be somebody that we all
what's
don't
fascinating,
remember.
we can do this obviously in a couple more Tuesdays. Now we're getting into football, but who's? I'll give you 4 quarterback names. And they name them in order, and 4 wide receiver names.
That'd be good.
4 offensive linemen, and
All I'll say on that is Tyler Shuck did a interview for the Saints the other day, and I'm so impressed with this kid for the Saints.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting his chance to start this year. They're not messing around with Spencer Rattler or him, both local kids. It's just impressive the way he carries himself, the way he looked last year and stuff. I mean, it's just amazing to watch.
There's been some special quarterbacks that's come through Chandler, including some guy named Rock Chalosky, who wound up being a better baseball player in their first overall pick. I mean, people were telling me when I was covering in Hamilton as a football player that he's a better baseball player than a football player. Yeah, it just went in one ear and out the other.
Right.
You know, I mean, and the first overall pick in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
That dude's pretty special.
Yeah, you say the same thing about oh gosh, Ethan, help me out with the kid that just went to Clemson. It was at Queen Creek High School. Tate Reynolds, and we were playing college football 27 the other day, me and Ethan, and he's playing Tate Reynolds at Clemson on that game. You know, he's not the starter; he's listed as a third, but there's a lot of guys that are successful in high school, let alone the guys that were great in high school and went on and stuff to that
Now,
effect.
Coop,
So that would be
I-
interesting.
Here's all I ask: when
That'd be
when we do the offensive lineman, can we make Dale not a part
Not a
of
part-
it?
no, yeah,
He'll
yeah.
get
You,
mad
you
at us?
don't remember back to 1980. I understand
He'll get mad at you.
and-
He'll get
and
mad at
I was
you.
a tight end back
Yeah.
then.
Oh,
Yeah.
tight end.
I was a
Oh,
tight end
okay.
back
He'll
then.
get mad. Oh yeah, Todd Heap or Dale Hillestree
Yeah.
back in high school is the big question that we
Todd
got here.
Heap and I have talked quite a bit over the years, and we have so much in common. We both love basketball.
Yeah, he was a
better.
big basketball guy.
He is a basketball guy. Played a little bit at ASU
Mm-hmm.
for one season with the coaches, against the coaches. Anyway, it's fascinating. You have all those names in your memory bank. You went a little too quick for me, but I'll go with your. I'll go with
Yeah,
your pick.
dude, I'm telling you, their highlight reels, watching them play,
Yeah.
it just and look, every one of those running backs were special, but I just think that Bijan and he was just special, even with the catching the ball out of the backfield and his feet and things like that. Now DJ could catch the ball out of the backfield as well, and DJ had this elite game-breaking speed.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk did everything, but at the end of the day, if I'm just looking at what at high school only, it's got to be Bijan for me.
All right, and,
With-
and
with
that's why we
DJ
got
with
Coop
DJ
here on
Foster
I know,
Tuesday.
second,
right?
Christian Kirk third.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe that Carey, because I remember Carey was obviously Arizona and and Wildcats and stuff like that. But yeah, for some reason I thought he was Brophy. There was a good running back at Brophy for a bunch of years, and I must be confusing him
But
with.
and one last thing, because it's fascinating to me, Coop. Bijan obviously has made the biggest splash in the NFL. DJ Foster and Christian Kirk made it to the NFL.
They all did. You're
yeah,
right. I
yeah,
didn't think about that. They all did.
But Kadeem Carey probably the fourth of those.
Oh,
They
yeah.
responsible.
Yeah, he was.
And there's so many myriad of reasons. I tell people I was probably the fourth best player on my Saguaro football team in 1980. Quarterback went to Notre Dame. Had a running back went to U of A. Had an offensive line went to Arizona State. I went to SMU. Quarterback pulls out his knee for second day.
Who was the offensive lineman that went to Arizona State from during
A guy named Pat Martin. Yeah.
Dale's all a guy named
No.
Pat Martin.
Well, no, because he failed out of school because of grades.
Yeah.
Down in U of A, I'm not going to give you his name, but drugs and stuff got him. Kevin Smith, first 2-3 days of freshman training camp, ACL back in 1981.
Those aren't repairable.
ACLs are not real good.
Yeah.
And then there's freaking Dale Hillestree who somehow, some way tricks him into
that knew nothing but winning championships, had Super Bowl rings. Hey, how much did Bijan sign for?
3 years, $75 million, $51 million guaranteed.
Wow.
So highest paid running back in the
$25
history.
million a year.
Yeah.
So
And the second biggest.
yeah, it's the second highest guarantee. Guess who's number one?
Jameer Gibbs?
No. Think about it.
Guess again.
You're high on him.
Guess
You love
again.
him. You love him. You just drafted. You love him.
Drafted Jeremiah Love?
He signed a fully guaranteed contract at $53 million.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, $75 million. I'm just mad that he plays for the Falcons because they just haven't utilized him right.
Oh, dude, he's all pro the last 2 years.
I know.
And he led the NFL in yards from scrimmage last year in Russia. I don't know what more you want from him.
Well, I
But
want him to get in the game more.
He's sharing totes with Tyler. He shared totes with Tyler Algier.
Maybe he'll get more shots. Well, like last year, we talked about this during that game. I was like, it'd be like he just had a big run. It's like, why is he going to the sideline?
Yeah.
Give him the ball again.
He's
but-
tired. It's not the same air as in Tucson. All
I
right.
appreciate it, folks. We went long today, but I wanted to get those Larry thoughts from you. And when we come back next week, we'll see, obviously, Larry's speech. It's going to be a touching speech. His son's doing the speech there. Obviously, he just lost his dad.
Devin's introducing him because his dad.
Quarterbacks,
It's,
wide receivers next week.
Quarterback's wide receiver.
Throw that list
and
together.
offensive line. I'll give you a couple weeks to work on
Yeah,
offensive line.
yeah, you
Now,
got to.
you list them, I'll tell you.
I'm going to put Hillenbrand in that list, and he's still in high school.
They still run in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, I know they do.
Come on back, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone.